Turn your life around for the final bell. It's now or never, you have to change well. It's now or never, you must change well. Hello, and welcome to Change Well, a podcast from Wellness Leadership LLC. This is your host, Don Greer, and today we begin the last in our series of 4 podcasts on the well-led guidelines for sustainable company success through a focus on employee wellness. Episode 13 of our podcast examined why organizations that make employee wellness a priority have more sustainable success and happier employees. Episodes 14 and 15 provided the first 10 well-led guidelines for organizations and projects, while this episode provides the last 5. We at Wellness Leadership LLC have integrated these 15 guidelines and the global standard for risk management from the Project Management Institute to develop a first-in-class assessment and strategy model for sustainable success for organizations, programs, and projects. If you want our services, please get in touch with us on our website, www.wellnessldr.com. Also, be on the lookout for our first chapbook, The Well-Led Organization, at the end of February 2024. Now, on to the guidelines, 11 through 15 of the Well-Led Organization. 11. Plan in affirmations and thankfulness. In his still relevant 1936 book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie wrote, Lincoln once began a letter saying, "Everybody likes a compliment." William James said, "The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated." He didn't speak, mind you, of the wish or the desire or the longing to be appreciated. He said the craving to be appreciated. Some 85 years later, the sage Ted Lasso put this concept in simpler terms: believe. You can get people to do incredible things on their own accord if you authentically believe in them and appreciate what they do for the organization. What are some tips to show you believe in your team and are thankful for them? Here are just 3. Post signs of encouragement. I have seen this simple technique work on many occasions. On one occasion, I noticed an off-the-rail project transformed by the positivity of the new project manager. Taking over for the previous, less optimistic project manager, the new leader posted positive messages throughout the project site. This was reinforced by a can-do attitude that empowered the individual team leads. People went from complaining about obstacles to solving problems. Soon the project was on track. What if your project is remote and not a single project site? You can be positive and affirming in a stand-up meeting. One way to do this is to set an affirming word or phrase for the day, or open with a success story. B. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Okay, I know. I've moved from Ted Lasso to Mary Poppins. But like Mary, always temper your constructive criticism, the medicine, with a positive comment, the sugar. Start with a positive comment, and then the person will be more receptive to the recommendation. C. Show you are thankful. Lastly, never underestimate the power of Thanksgiving. A simple handwritten note thanking a person for their effort can work wonders. For team efforts, plan a celebratory outing. A little thanks goes a long way. Now on to our 12th rule. Be engaged and lead up front. This lesson in leadership is that sometimes the leader has to show the team how it is done. This does not mean that every time a team member needs an extra boost to complete a task, the leader rushes in and does it for him. No. It suggests that at some critical junctures, it is essential that the project director lead the way and show the prowess that got them in the position in the first place. Well, some leaders get into position in other ways, but let's just assume this leader is good. Also, the leader should be engaged and there for critical moments. As a quality assurance director for a leading IT consulting firm for 30 years, I always checked whether the project lead was present for critical rollouts. And nothing got my ire up more as a project lead who was not there for that crucial event, maybe out on a party or eating dinner or whatever. You gotta be there for your people. Engaging and showing confidence and resolve during critical events is always the best. First, it shows your team you care and are with them, especially since some and most critical deployments happen on the weekend. Second, you're there for necessary decisions and to lend a steady hand if something goes wrong or needs correcting. Lastly, you are on hand to affirm the team when things go well and take responsibility when things go wrong. 13. Now, we talked about leading up front, but you must remember that leaders eat last. While leaders are meant to lead up front, their needs should be secondary to their teams. The best way to get a person's loyalty and make them feel cared for is to ensure that they have the necessary equipment, knowledge, and of course, nourishment. I'll give a simple example, which I still remember even though it was over 15 years ago. Our team had a tight deadline and had to present at 2 remote locations in less than a day. The only way to get to our second location on time was to rent a small prop plane, 1 seat shy of our party. Instead of taking the front seat near the pilot, our boss sat in the only place left, a tiny compartment with a flip out next to the garbage. The lead wanted us to focus on the presentation close to the time we would land. I was already loyal to this lead, but the simple gesture cemented it. Lead up front, but take a back seat to your team's needs. 14. Be great by doing good. We all know people work for money, but they stay engaged when they believe in the company's mission, vision, and purpose. Also, it is my experience that most people are generous and want to give back, albeit the form of altruism does differ amongst individuals. In an organization with an aspiring vision statement and a purpose beyond the bottom line will drive employees to higher levels. Likewise, properly formed employee resource groups that allow employees to give back significantly impact employee morale and provide a positive impression of the company to the community. Let me give another example. My prior company had a program established by 3 young consultants. I think they were 2 years out of college, called Coder Dojo. This program is a coding program for kids and teens, some of whom have never had the opportunity to code. Most of them didn't. The program provided the consultants a leadership opportunity and a venue for applying their skills. The final class was the best part of the whole program. The kids' students got to display their coding projects, and judges from our company's senior leadership handed out the awards. The participants were happy and proud, but the consultants who made the program were even more motivated and happy for how they gave back and being able to apply their skills in a very helpful and purposeful way. 15 and last guideline. Build in fitness breaks. This last rule is similar to the first rule we started with. That rule was acknowledge that overwork is counterproductive. Set a rule that each meeting starts 10 minutes after the hour or a half hour, depending on the timing of the meeting. Encourage people to set an alarm to move at least 10 minutes each hour on their watch. Another way to build fitness in the workday is to have a walking meeting or a fun fitness break. Establish a wellness calendar with fitness and mindfulness breaks. These fitness breaks were especially crucial during the pandemic when everyone stared at their screens for days on end. One of the programs we established was Peloton Pandemic Pandemonium. I knew we had a cohort of Peloton riders on my team, so we established a calendar of live Peloton rides when people would voluntarily ride and high-five each other over the platform. Other programs we established were Bollywood dance, yoga, and my favorite, digital karaoke. There you have it. The last of the 15 rules for the well-led organization. Next week, we will move back to a topic on individual wellness, body and soul combos. Until then, change well.